2, 1. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Councilmember Nancy Van Rees, the chair of Parks, Library, and Arts Committee on the Metro Council. Welcome to our 6th of our 6-part series from the committee to hear and learn more about parks, libraries, and arts. The first 3 series that we had spoke about what those 3 departments were doing in regard to kind of a bird's eye view on how their programming worked. And our second half of the 3-part series is hearing a little bit more specifically about stories and results of that work. Hopefully you've been able to enjoy all of the series. If not, there is a channel for it on the Metro YouTube channel, as well as my Metro channel on District 8 YouTube channel, to be able to go back and reference, particularly for committee members, to remember why we fund these departments and why they are important as we enter the budget season, but also for the community at large to learn more about all the things that are offered to us in regard to both parks, library, and arts. So in the 6th part, we are returning our visit to Metro Arts and Culture and the Metro Arts Department. Caroline Vincent is the executive director of the department, and we will be hearing from her in the second portion of our conversation. Before I move a little further down, I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that this meeting will be conducted virtually, and there will not be a physical location in order to protect the public health, safety, and welfare in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Because the Metro Council Committee will not be taking any legislation or debating that legislation, there is no need for votes or a quorum. We do have Council Member Russ Bradford with us here today as well on the call, as well as other council members that will chime in during the meeting and also afterward whenever this is published as a video. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Caroline Vincent, the Executive Director, to introduce Benjamin Smith, who will tell us a little bit more about some projects that are going on. So Caroline, go ahead.
Great, thank you, Council Lady. Caroline Vincent here from MetroArts, and I'm going to turn it over to Benjamin Smith of Southern Word, and he has a very special guest with him here today. We're going to hear a little bit about their work after a performance. So I'll just turn it over to you, Benjamin.
Thank you. I'm Benjamin Smith. I'm the Executive Director of Southern Word. I'm here to introduce Mari Shields. First, I want to thank the Youth Poet Laureate partners, MetroArts, Nashville Public Library, Metro Human Relations Commission, and the Mayor's Office for the support of the Nashville Youth Poet Laureate program. We're here today to talk about and be in support of MetroArts, but I also want to call out the Nashville Public Library and the Nashville Public Library Foundation's historic support of our work as well. And so with that, before you get a poem, let's learn a little bit about Mari Shields, who's Nashville's 2021 Nashville Youth Poet Laureate. She's a junior at Overton High School. She is a writer, poet, and guitarist. She loves science fiction and creative writing. She writes many pieces about the morality and temperament of humanity. She loves sushi, making people laugh, and anything related to theoretical physics. She's also secretly Spider-Man.
Hi guys, I'm going to be performing a poem for you today. So here we go. This year, Spotify told me I spent over 15,000 minutes listening to Kanye say the phrase, poop, poop. This is only the 678, 349th weirdest thing to happen to me. Number 19,450 was when I told my mother I should take the word think or doubt out of my vocabulary because it'll make me more of an assured person. So instead, I began knowing out loud. Tell my brother I know he will not be outside safe with that much melanin. Tell my teacher I know I did not complete my assignments on time, and I myself, I know I am unhappy. But if the government is allowed a breakdown this year, then so am I. And that's self-love, baby. I spent over 300 days crying, and that's self-love, baby. Number 5084 told me I saw an old man take a stop sign and run with it, not once, but twice. I've written, I hope this email finds you well during these troubling times on 31 occasions. 17 of them were to the trouble during these times. And number 43, I had the funeral on the calendar the same week I was supposed to have my first kiss. Talk about a death date. I ate inside a building with my partner in order to drink with no straws 3 times. Talk about a death date. This year, I spent my tips 26 times to pay for the groceries. My dad lost his job and spilled the milk on Thanksgiving, and I still don't know which looked weaker, him or the dessert. If there was a word for 2020, it would be in German. The translation would sound something like, ah! Or maybe just silence. This year, SpaceX has made over 20 attempts to launch rockets into space, and I have sent in over 100 scholarship forms so I could be there one day. I know Elon Musk will never see a single one of them, but at least one Tesla will make it to Mars before me. This year, 1,800 stars died every minute, and I can feel them missing. All my wishes this year forgot to come true, and I can see the carton my dad left somewhere along the now extra Milky Way. This year, my depression jumped out of its rib cage and stole a kiss from my lips only once, because it never had to let go. And it took me away so soft and so sweet, like an old man with a sign blaring in red, stop, stop, stop. And my voice, it slipped out of its body like the Little Mermaid. This year, I crushed my fingers on my heavy heart once a day. 365 times I called in to check on myself and went to voicemail. 365 times I told my brother I loved him and wondered if there would be a 366 this year. I told myself to give me the benefit of this year. I told myself I only needed to make it to tomorrow. Write something terrible until it's not terrible anymore. And I grabbed onto my pen like it was a lifeboat. And by the end of this year, my 2020 sounded like, ah, ah, ah. And in a way, that's my number one. Thank you.
That was amazing, Mari. Do you mind sharing a little bit about how you came to poetry?
Problem. When I was in 7th grade, I was taken on like this small field trip where they took about like 5 people who were good at writing into the library, and we were taken into like the little auditorium area, and we saw all these incredible poets from Southern Word, and they were all way better than me at the time. I was in 7th grade, and I thought I was really good at poetry, and then I heard them, and I was like, whoa. And I was invited on stage to perform the little poem that I had written for the day. It was a little tiny haiku. And after that, I kind of like clung on to this like I can perform poetry thing. And I went to all the open mics in high school. When I was finally given the chance, I went to every single workshop I had the chance to get into. And I kept writing and writing and writing every day and every day and every day. And eventually my writing didn't sound terrible anymore. And I got really excited. So I joined Southern Word's like group, I guess. I became a fellow. That's how I got actually my first job. That actually is run also by the MetroArts. So that was really great opportunity that I was able to get my first job. And then after that, I just kept going into performances and events, and I kept going. And now I'm Youth Poet Laureate, which is incredible. And I have so many opportunities with that, and I'm just really happy.
Awesome. Thank you. So I always wonder like what people are going to do after a performance like that, and think about what if this doesn't just reflect the experience of Mari, but it reflects some way the experience of 100 or 1,000 or 50,000 or 85,000 young people or more that are in our schools, and how they're thinking and processing, especially recent events. What if you knew there was a tool that could support the processing of experiences that we go through and gives young people a language that we don't normally give them to talk about when they experience what they experience as they come of age? So do you invite Mari to do another performance somewhere else? Most likely, that's what usually happens. Do you divest from the programs? That unfortunately sometimes happen. Or as leaders, do you explore the infrastructure that makes this possible? Try to understand cause and effects, the collaborations and people involved, so you can do more of what is working. Over the past 13 years of putting up young poets, too often people stop at appreciating the poet without channeling their excitement into the work that helps get this tool to more young people. This year's Southern Word Mentors, with the support of MetroArts, have been virtual alongside teachers at Glencliff, Overton, Pearl Cone, Lead Academy, Stratford, Maplewood, Martin Luther King Academic Magnet, Hume Fogg Academic Magnet, Nashville School of the Arts, Wright Middle, Nashville Big Picture, Jerry Baxter Middle, Hillwood High School, McMurray Middle, Harpeth Hall, Warner Elementary, John Early Middle, Nashville State Community College, Tennessee State University, the Juvenile Detention Center, and Vanderbilt Behavioral Health. Our teacher partners have remarked increased engagement, vitality, and participation among their students in a virtual environment where engagement can be extremely challenging. It's like this, with everyone's cameras turned off, no response, no verbal response, very limited response in the chat in many of the classrooms. So we aren't just a nice poetry program. We are in schools and classrooms because we have been speaking to essential challenges that we face in education together. 4 of us who work with Southern Word have been going into Nashville classrooms for 12 years now. You see Southern Word mentors emerge as important Nashville leaders in other ways as well. And Southern Word and MetroArts have been an important piece of these artists' livelihood that makes their leadership and civic participation feasible. Thank you all for the CARES funds invested through MetroArts. CARES funds allowed us to sustain these artistic leaders who have shown a commitment to Nashville, to Nashville's youth, and to Nashville's education and community service systems. So remember this when you see young poets like Mari Shields. Remember this if Alora Young, who is a national finalist, manages to become National Youth Poet Laureate. Southern Word is the infrastructure that makes this possible. MetroArts is the infrastructure that makes this possible. MetroArts is the reason that Nashville has a top-of-class, nationally recognized youth literary arts organization like Southern Word. So if you want to do more of this, if you want Nashville's young people to have access to this, then you continue to invest, you continue to advocate, and continue to build. So thank you all so much for listening and having us. And I think with that, we turn it over to Q&A.
That'd be fantastic if I know that Councilmember Tanya Hancock has also joined us and got here in time for the poem. So thank you for joining us. Councilmember Bradford or Hancock, do you have any questions for Benjamin or Marie at this point?
No questions, just, thanking them for coming on today and that wonderful performance.
Yes, I also don't have any questions, but would like to ditto that. That was incredible. Just filled with energy and grace and a fantastic perspective on the last year, too.
Thank you guys for that.
It's beautiful, really, because being able to take your passion for science and art and make them work together is something that thrills me. My brother is a nuclear physicist, and my other brother is a musician. So I understand how that can work together, and I can't wait to see you excel in both ways, and to bring art and perspective to science. I think is there's a reason that it's called Arts and Sciences. So thanks for doing that. I'm looking forward to witnessing your journey along the way. And Benjamin, thank you so much for what you do and your crew. Really, every day, the list of places that you've been, even during a very challenging year, is extremely impressive and an excellent example of who Nashville is when you listen to that list. And so, thank you for making sure that the work that you're doing is both equitable and available to everybody. I think it's fantastic. And unless you have any other stories for us, we'll send it back over to Caroline Vincent, who's going to kind of give us an update on MetroArts and where we are leading into the budget season. Thank you again, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benjamin and Mari. That was amazing, as always. And we so appreciate your partnership and the work you're doing. So thanks so much. I'm going to switch over to show you my screen, hopefully. We can make all of that work. All right. Does that look okay?
You got it.
All right, great. Well, I knew I made a mistake when I followed Southern Word and our Youth Poet Laureate, but here we go. I'll try to make it interesting. It's a hard act to follow. But thanks for having us back this afternoon to dig a little bit deeper into what we're up to at MetroArts. You may remember from December, we talked a lot about all of our programs, grants, public art, community partnerships, and investments. And we really focused on, or we do focus on in an active way, of supporting artists and arts organizations, racial equity, and the public realm. And this really became clear in 2020 when we had to figure out where do we put our resources and our efforts. So that was certainly magnified in this very challenging year that we are hopefully getting through. So I will just offer you a few updates on where we are, some updated numbers, and also we have some thank yous from some of our artists and organizations, thanking you, the Metro Council, for supporting arts and culture in Nashville. And then we'll look ahead to budget priorities and programs and public art and things that are coming up. So since our last meeting with you, we finalized our 2020 annual report, and we have some new numbers to share. You received that report probably in your email, but if it's lost, please let us know. We can resend it to you, and we also have it linked on our website. Our operating budget typically supports 50 plus nonprofits each year, and that equals out to 4,000 to 5,000 jobs directly supported and 500 different locations where art is happening. So we know our arts organizations are not only doing work at their physical location, but out in communities, at libraries, community centers, churches, public spaces. We also talk a lot about this number, the $429 million economic impact, which is strictly the nonprofit arts sector with that number. And certainly a big part of our work and our identity in Nashville. And that number is several years old. 2021 was going to be the year for the study to be redone. And we know that number is higher now, but certainly that will wait a little while longer, but still a large part of our impact. One area that many of our grant partners focus on is arts access and opportunities. So the number of interactions with our partners grew exponentially this last fiscal year, up to more than 216,000 interactions with art and Nashville students. That is a result of some of our virtual programming. So I guess there is one silver lining that programs are reaching more folks, even in the virtual setting. And even before the shutdown, our partners managed to visit in person 143 Metro Nashville public schools with arts programming. So that's exciting to see. And then let's talk a little bit more about those organizations' impact and reach. Of course, our vision is that every Nashvilleian have access to a creative life. Our grant partners' work reaches well beyond, the traditional cultural institutions and into every corner of the county, as I mentioned. And we wanted to just share a few examples of that, what's going on in our community and why these connections are so important, especially right now as we heal and recover from such a hard year. We know that 2/3 of American adults say that the arts improve healing and the healthcare experience. Our partners at the Healing Arts Project, pictured here on the right, provide artistic opportunities for persons in mental health and addiction recovery to promote healing, community awareness, and inclusion. 90% of their participants say they feel greater self-confidence, comfort in social situations, ability to cope, and a sense of self-worth as a result of being involved in these programs. We also know 56% of Americans favor arts funding as a means to address housing issues. Our grantee, Poverty in the Arts, provides people impacted by homelessness with access to creative resources and an artistic platform to enhance their quality of life. Some of their artists are pictured here at the bottom left. And since 2014, this organization has served more than 100 artists, paying out more than $45,000 to artists impacted by homelessness. And for seniors, Pleasing Melodies can deliver benefits for physical and mental health, memory, and important social connections. 80% of Americans support public funding for arts programs that support the elderly population. Our grant partner, Music for Seniors, reaches more than 34,000 older Nashvillians each year through live and virtual performances like the one you see pictured at the top left. So we know we all need to heal, Nashville needs to heal, and we know arts are part of that toolkit for recovery and resilience. Our Thrive funding program, which is very popular, is for artist-led, neighborhood-focused projects. We also saw increased engagement with this program in the last year in the virtual and in-person space. We saw more than 2,000 Nashvillians participating in in-person events through artworks and programs, and then an additional 6,000 or more than 6,000 participating virtually. So we were able to support 121 artists with this program and through this work. And this doesn't even include the April 2020, we did a special round of Thrive, just as the impact of the tornado was becoming evident and the pandemic was beginning. So let's see. This program was really developed to support artists, but also outside of the grant program. So if you're an organization that's not a 501c3, nonprofit, you're not set up that way, you can receive funding through this program, which is great. And it's a simple application, and those are reviewed twice a year. So a few updates that we first told you about back in December. We invited you to come along to 50 Forward Madison Station for the Madison on My Mind, which was a socially distanced drive-through arts showcase of projects made possible through a National Endowment for the Arts grant. We're thrilled to report that back on December 12th, we had our chair, Van Reese, as our grand marshal and lead car, and the showcase supported more than 100 carloads of visitors visiting 19 different projects on display, everything from paintings to puppets to custom Western suits. There were several live performances on a stage with musicians and dancers, and there were many, many cinnamon rolls that we consumed from Madison's Graham's Coffee. This is just an example of a deep community engagement project where we worked with Madison artists, celebrating Madison in all of its glory through various art forms. We felt like we heard that this was much needed relief for the community as well to come together. Everyone told us they just thought it was amazing. Some of them hadn't been outside of their houses in months, and they were just so excited to see people and actually be in community. So that was really exciting, not to mention the artists who really needed that funding to sustain their practice and do their work. So this was made possible through a grant, but it's just an example of the work we like to do in communities and in neighborhoods. It gets very deep and it takes time, and we really appreciate the partnership of Councilmember Van Reese and the work that was happening there. We're also continuing this work through a survey. So we're asking Madison artists and creatives to respond to that, and it's on our website. And please share that and get the word out there, because that will result in sort of we call it almost like an asset map of Madison. So we'll be able to see visually and also through data who is living in Madison, who's working in creative industries, how can the city help, how can we support, what is needed there to support that creative community. So we talked about this last time. Our first lending library collection is on its way to Nashville Public Library. Those artworks have been obtained. We have them in our possession. They're being framed, and they are scheduled to launch at Madison and Southeast Libraries. This is just another way that we are pivoting programs last year to say, like, okay, we have public art dollars. How can we get those into the hands of local artists? And with that direct support of payments going to artists. So that was really important. You'll see in the middle, Amanda Downs' painting there. We heard from her, and we've got another story from her a little bit later. So this is just a few examples of the 60 artworks in the collection, and they're being cataloged. They'll be available to browse online, and then hopefully you'll be able to go into your library soon in person and pick one up and take it home. So it's really, we're very excited about that. Another project that is launching or has been in process is the community canvas at Cossey Gardner Senior Park on Jefferson Street. We just dropped the call to artists this morning. So this project really embodies everything we've talked about and that we hold dear for community engagement. The call for artists itself was crafted from input with a panel of community stakeholders and advisors that came together to help us write that. So we're looking forward to that. The artwork they choose will be from a local artist, and it will reflect the significance of the location in the Jefferson Street community. The park and the artwork is meant to, be a gathering space for North Nashville, and the artwork should also reflect, the community's history and the strong artistic legacy of that neighborhood. So we feel like it's important, especially with the year we've had, to really celebrate victories and share notes of thanks. And some of these might look familiar because you might have seen them in your inboxes. We talked about a special round of funding back in April 2020 to artists. We channeled $50,000 to support artists during those difficult early weeks. And those were for projects making artworks or creating things that uplifted and connected Nashvillians from their safety of their homes. And you can still see those projects on our website. This is a billboard by Xavier Payne, X-Payne, that went up in a couple places in Nashville. And then we had some feedback from those that we thought we'd share. And just a couple said, these artists are saying, it gave me money that I could pay other artists and still thrive. It was like a bridge that helped me out. We were very grateful that there was an organization willing to support us and sponsor us in doing something in a time where artists didn't know where the next dollar was coming from. This funding really allowed me to dig deeper with my community and look at my art to see how I can provide hope, positivity, and be uplifting during these times. And then Amanda Downs, who we talked about earlier, shared this letter with her council member, I believe that was Councilmember Bradford, and talked about lending library and Thrive and what that meant to her financially and professionally. She also talked about her artistic practice being built around uplifting and connecting community members who in turn also benefited from these programs. And I thought what struck me was the part where she said, this impacted her not only financially, but it gave her hope in a time that was really tough. She was able to pay some of her household expenses and purchase equipment to help her business offer virtual painting classes. She was so excited again to connect with the community and reach people she had not met before. Thank you again for showing up for artists and helping us do the work that we love. And finally, Benjamin mentioned this, and this is actually a really beautiful handwritten note he sent about the CARES Act funding that you supported last year that went directly to our nonprofit arts and cultural organizations. We talked about, or he talked about how this helped sustain Southern Word. And I truly appreciate your help in sustaining, even though the battle for the arts and its value will continue. Another letter from Alan Fay, who manages or directs almost too many arts organizations to name. He works with Make Music Nashville, Alias Chamber, Nashville Philharmonic, and Portera Ensemble, all really great organizations. And he said, this money was a literal lifeline that will ensure survival during this time. I know I can speak for the Nashville arts community when I say this funding was absolutely life-saving. So I think certainly thanks given to this council for supporting those additional funds that helped keep our arts organizations alive during a really rough time. So this last section, I'll just do some quick overviews on programs, looking ahead, public art, and some priorities with our budget. This just shows a graph that's also in our annual report of our budget. You can see the largest portion of that is grant money going back out into the community. And as you can see, we've talked about before that grant funding is, flat across the board for the most part. We do have additional funding in public art, and then some direct programs that we are supporting, and then people, and that's about it for our budget. It's pretty simple. And I know this body approved earlier in 2020 an agreement with Two Sigma's Data Clinic, who we are working with to analyze our department's data to show impact, gaps, and areas for growth. And this is a preliminary graphic they shared with us on some of the work that they're presenting to us. So it shows that our budget for arts and cultural nonprofits has remained flat. Certainly it's fluctuated a little bit, but mostly flat for 20 years roughly, or, especially the last decade. But as you see in the top part, the number of organizations that are eligible for funding is going up. So we certainly see that as kind of a crunch, even though, we have had a lot of support and we do have funding. It's the amount of grants are getting smaller per organization. And we know, the rising cost of living in Nashville for artists and operating costs for organizations has certainly gone up. We've had last grant cycle, we had 7 additional organizations join the pool. And then in December, with the CARES funding, we had another 6 additional organizations that came to the table for those funds and were eligible. So we're certainly seeing growth in the arts sector and hopeful that we can grow the pool of funding that we have available to support these organizations. So with those trends in mind, our operating budget request coming up was to hopefully restore. We did lose $200,000 in the grants budget last year, even though you did support bringing most of our budget back, which was much appreciated. We're also asking for a slight increase of $500,000 into that grant pool to reflect the growing increased demand of our applicants. We are asking for restoration of one frozen position that is previously funded, but stuck within the hiring freeze. But we did have to put that into our budget request. And then an additional person to support some of our racial equity and restorative arts programming. And, certainly that's a lot to us. Those 2 positions would mean a lot with our, staff of 12. We are certainly doing a lot more. There's a lot more demand for the programs that we're offering. And we would love to have an additional help there, if possible, given we know all of the myriad of stressors on the Metro budget, but we're certainly optimistic. This is public art in the capital budget. I wanted to just share, I think you may have seen this as it's coming to you. We do request or, make a listing of public art projects in progress, the ones that we have not yet started, but these will show up in the capital budget, even though the funding has actually already been placed in the public art fund. So we do have several that have already been mentioned. We have several that are coming up or haven't yet started, like Donaldson Library, waiting on that one. We'd like to do more planning in the Southeast area just because we know that's a growth space for the county, and we want to find out where should we put more public art, and several others that are in progress, like the fairgrounds, which is this artwork you see here on the right. That is the artist selected for the fairgrounds, and she's going to start community engagement this next month. We have Nolensville Road. We have 5 artist designed transit shelters on the way. And then we also have just our ongoing collections maintenance and management, which actually takes quite a bit of time and funding to support just taking care of what we have out there in the world. So certainly open to more conversations about this list or adding, projects to this list. We are always, updating it and taking requests from the community and also council members and looking at other Metro projects that might be happening. So if we can, we try to attach to those that are under construction, because that certainly makes the process a little bit more streamlined, and we can build it into the construction. So we're also moving into our strategic plan, which we had talked about. The procurement RFQ is hopefully being dropped this week. So we are planning to hire a consultant team to help us with a input process for a new strategic plan, which our last one is more than 5 years old. So that's certainly something we're looking toward. And then, hopefully we can come in line more with our peer cities in terms of funding and explore, some creative ways that could potentially be done. And then I think that's all of our updates. So we're happy to talk or take questions at this time.
I know I'm looking forward to getting out and about again so that I can visit some of the new things that have happened in the last 18 months or so in regard to public art and murals and things that are going on around town. One of the things that I noticed just on that last slide, if you want to go back to it, some of the creative funding that peer cities are doing for dedicating funding approaches. And I had not seen that Seattle ticket fee for for-profit entertainment venues. I had not seen that in Seattle. I don't know, whether or not that's something that you have talked to the mayor's office about, dedicated funding approaches. I know that we're all going to be trying to figure out dedicated funding approaches for transit for sure, but kind of how the 1% thing works and whether or not we can do something that supplies more of a dedicated, source is one of my first question. My second question is, obviously, all the departments are preparing for their requests or getting their requests into the mayor's office, and as council members, we wait and anticipate to kind of see kind of what comes out, and then we mutually figure out what happens from there. Do you have any updates from us as to how you feel this mayor's budget is going to react to your funding request? Those are my two big questions.
Thank you. I mean, we've had preliminary conversations, I would say, early on in the administration. And of course, as we were moving into the budget cycle last year, we were very optimistic that we were going to be able to have some of those conversations, but obviously 2020 had different plans. So we have not taken that back up. I think the idea was that we would move into the strategic planning process and maybe do some benchmarking, do a little bit more research, and find out what's really feasible for us in Nashville, and go from there. So I think through that process, we hope to find out more and get more input, and just see, what's possible. And if that's going to take 5 or 10 years, great. Let's, get on that plan and get on that path toward being able to figure this out. So that's one. And then I think, and I guess the second question, I have not received any input on our budget request other than, we just submitted them, and, we I think have a meeting at the end of this month with the mayor's office and finance to sort of go over those. And, I think I've just been saying I'm, cautiously optimistic. And I think we really did use the budget opportunity to just share what our needs are, even if the answer is, we don't have funding for that right now, or, there are other larger needs in front of us. I understand that, but we certainly use the budget request process to lay out the need and sort of where we are and how we're sort of managing with the increased demand.
Yeah. Councilmember Bradford or Hancock, do you have any questions? I'll offer up another one while you guys are thinking. It's become clear to me, both in libraries and parks mentioned the same thing, the virtual lessons, the activity, the engagement that's happened because we've had to pivot to virtual. What are you guys learning from that so that you can continue to keep people engaged that might only be comfortable in a virtual setting?
Sure. Yeah, I think we have learned going through, our direct programming like Opportunity Now, youth employment, things like that. We realized at the beginning that, the equipment wasn't there or maybe the access, but it feels like a lot of our organizations have figured out, the technology piece of it. And it seems to me that that would be a great thing to continue in the future. I mean, I think everybody wants to get back to in person, and certainly the arts are much better experienced in person, but I think we'll see continuation of arts organizations offering programming virtually, because what I've heard too is that some of our organizations offering programming that then becomes available worldwide, and anyone can access that programming and pay for that programming, or, pay for a workshop or something like that. So it becomes a different sort of revenue stream opportunity. And I think that's what I've heard so far. I haven't had a lot of conversations about what that looks like as we move into, the next school year, or who knows what the world will look like this fall. But I certainly think we'll see virtual stick around in some situations.
That's fantastic. I'm not seeing other hands raised, so I will ask another question. My other question is really in regard to being a resource. I know that. One second. Sorry, she'll probably do that again. So, it's Amazon delivery and something, I think. What I was saying was whether or not there's an opportunity in my district where we had a developer that was going to be helping build a bus shelter and wanted to do something creative with the bus shelter, and is now interviewing artists in the area to help design a skin for the back of the bus shelter. And they had no idea where to go or what to do. And we had referenced them to utilize your public art resource list. And it made me wonder how often that's being resourced, or how often people are asking MetroArts for connections to artists.
Sure, that's a good question. I don't have the numbers on me, but we could certainly get that. I think just anecdotally, we receive at least, I want to say, a couple, 3 times a week, calls or emails or more probably, asking about, I want to work with an artist. How do I do that? Or I want to do this project. Certainly, I feel like the arts have more visibility with the, murals and more of the private sector taking on art projects. And I feel like a lot of it, I mean, honestly, our staff spend a lot of time on that. So it's interesting to see, but it's also a service we're providing of like technical assistance and time spent in meetings and phone calls, sort of being a technical advisor to a lot of these projects. So I think we're seeing that in the sector. I have colleagues across the country, and this is one of the things we talk about is, it's great. We want to make sure this is happening. And then we have to also think about capacity and how do we support that. So that was one of the reasons we did create the resource guide. So we could sort of send a link and say, here, read this first, and then come back with your questions, and we'll try to help the best way we can. And, put you in touch with artists who may be doing that type of work. And also through the Nolensville project, we sort of figured out ourselves how to do that. We wanted to use the existing bus shelters to keep costs down. And so how do you create a design space there for artists where we're not spending like $100,000 on a giant public artwork, but you could spend 10 or 20,000 in it, or, just add a little bit there that becomes a little more feasible for developers and folks in the private sector.
Yay, that's fantastic. I think it's all good work. I'm a fan. Any other questions before we wrap this up? One thing that I will let you speak on before we leave is I saw that there was a call for community members to consider serving on grant review panels. I know that's how I got to know MetroArts, was serving on grant review panels, and so I highly recommend it. Could you explain what that is and where people should go if they're interested?
Sure. So we are currently moving into our grant cycle. So grant applications are actually due Wednesday. And the way that works is we have citizen-driven panels. So we have a whole panel of citizens who review those grants and then sit and, adjudicate those and sort of discuss them and score them. So we have an open call right now, and that link is on our website and in our newsletter. So if you're interested in being on a panel, it may be grants or it could be public art or something else like Thrive. We have community panels for those programs as well. You can fill out that, just give us your basic contact information and also what you're interested in, and then we'll put you in sort of our roster and pull you in when we're able to, because we do try to pull, make sure it's diverse of, geography and just making sure we're covering the whole city with those opportunities.
Fantastic. Thank you again so much for making time for this presentation. It will be available on video for the rest of the committee and the council, as well as the public at large, to hear more about what you guys are doing. And if they have any questions, it's MetroArts. What's the website?
MetroArts. Oh, now you've messed me up.
Sorry.
This is Emily. It's MetroArtsNashville.com.
There you go. I couldn't remember, it was an org or a com or what. Okay, so MetroArtsNashville.com. Yeah, there you go. That's where we live. Yeah, MetroArtsNashville.com. Enjoy your perusing. It's a beautiful site, as you can imagine, and lots of information there. I'm particularly excited about, obviously, what's happening with the Madison on My Mind project, and I look forward to working with Councilmember Hancock, Benedict, Young, and Gamble on more projects in the 37115. Thank you. I enjoyed, as always, the discussion, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. This committee meeting is adjourned. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.